Bro, listen to me. Stop caring about what other people think. You're hurting yourself. You really are.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for an incredible night. Oh, we're taking it up a notch. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Wes and Mike TZ coming off.
Look, I get it. Like, as men, we're always told, like, not to show our emotions. We're told to be big and bad and tough all the time. And the moment we do show any sign of weakness, any sign of emotion, any sign of attitude, we're looked at as less than, not what we're destined to be, and just flat out pathetic. Like, most of us know this in the back of our mind, but it's something that we try to avoid or deny speaking to ourselves or talking to ourselves about it. I'm telling you, the moment that you start to care less is the moment that you're gonna unlock your full potential. And I don't mean like disrespecting a whole bunch of people and walking around in the world carefree and not caring about anything. But it's a certain mind state and it's a certain way that you have to look upon things to accomplish things. So we're going to be talking about why caring less will give you more results. So if you're new here, I'm Adam Duty. I've been an entrepreneur for several years. I made multiple six figures a year, and I love helping other men deal with things that they're going through in business, life, relationships, making money, and just leveling up. If this is your first time watching any of my videos, you definitely need to stay locked in and we can eat up together. Now let's start off with the no more Mr. Nice Guy. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Like, throughout my life and my younger years, I was always worried about pleasing everybody else. I always cared about, like, if someone would judge me from the clothes I wear to the kind of car that I drove. I always tried to fit in and be like everybody else. And I'm telling you, as I did that, I saw more of me disappear, and I pretty much became like a figure of my imagination. And what I mean by that is I saw myself being in some definitely dark places because I lost touch with who I was, and I was more focused on what other people wanted me to be. See, the thing is, like, when you focus on pleasing everybody else all the time and saying yes all the time, you lose something in you. And every day that you go about doing the same thing, trying to please everybody else, being a yes man, is the more you're gonna lose touch with who you are. When you lose touch with who you are, in my opinion, that brings on depression and a whole bunch of other things. Now, I'm not a psychologist, but I can tell you that when you do things for other people and you don't focus on pleasing yourself or bettering yourself, you will go into a dark hole and you will get depressed, because it's very hard to keep up a facade or keep up a certain type of pattern for other people when that's not something that's inside of you in the first place. When that happens, you're gonna be so focused on trying to keep up with other people, trying to keep up with what they're doing and how they're dressing, talking, acting, how they're raising their family, what type of money they're making. And when you see yourself not getting those specific results that they're getting, it's automatically gonna cause you to look down on yourself. Again, we're always told that we have to be at the top of the totem pole. Being a man is extremely hard. No one's here to save us. But a lot of times we think by fitting in, by having a lot of people like us, want to be around us, that's going to help us get to where we need to be. And it does the complete opposite, because you're not standing on business. You're not standing on morals. You're not standing on the things that made you unique in the first place. A big thing for me was caring less about what is required and more about what I would miss out. So let me explain that to you. Let's say, for example, there's some conference or there's a coach or a mentor or something that I want to take part in that I feel can get me to the next level. Let's just say you had to spend money on this coach or this program or this training or whatever you wanted to do to level yourself up as a man. You focused on how much money you will have to spend, how much that would set you back. And I used to think this way all the time. It caused me to miss out on so many opportunities and so many things that could have helped catapulted me to the next level. I realized a lot of successful people, they focus on what they'll miss out on if they don't do the thing that they think will get them to the next level, not what they're gonna invest in or what they're gonna spend or what's required. Oftentimes, and be honest, it's not what somebody teaches you, but it's about the relationship that you build with that person or that thing that you felt was too much to invest in the first place. Oftentimes, it's somebody that you work with that introduces you to somebody else or to something else. So think about all the times and places and activities you missed out on because you didn't make that initial investment. And it doesn't always have to be always monetary. It can be working out in the gym. You didn't put that extra work in, so you missed out on having the body that you wanted or losing specific weight. You missed out on not putting in those extra hours while you're working on your business. Your relationship didn't go the way that you wanted it to go because you were more focused on what was required from that woman, and you didn't focus out on missing out on an actual woman or putting your all in. That's simply the easiest way that we lose things and we get pushed back on the way that we are. So care less about what is required and think more about what you're gonna miss if you don't invest in that, whether it's monetary, mentality wise, or physical. The next thing is we gotta stop caring about what's next and start focusing more on what's now. See, oftentimes we put ourselves in depression, anxiety, all these things because we're thinking about the future or what's next. Like when you're thinking about things that are not even in play yet, you're giving yourself reasons to be anxious, reasons to be depressed about failure. You're giving yourself reasons to doubt yourself. I don't know if you've ever heard the term do it ugly and do it unorganized. See, when you do things, it allows you to make mistakes. And the easiest way to learn from mistakes, making that mistake, and then going back and thinking about, hey, how can I do this better next time? But if you're consistently focused on and worried about what will happen before it even happens, you're never gonna start or do the thing that you're thinking about doing in the first place. I know you guys always heard like a graveyard is the richest place in the world. That's because so many people were thinking about the future. They were thinking about these ideas that they could bring to the world, how they would bring those ideas to the world. And they thought so much about their failures, so much about how they were going to actually deliver that message. They thought so much about what other people would think and not just actually doing it and being in the present and doing it right now. And as men, we're always told about taking care of our family, being dominant, being the best. But in reality, as a man, we need to focus on the right now. I'm not saying don't always think about right now and never think about the future, but you need to think about more of being in the present moment and dominating the present moment than being in the future consistently. I had to realize consistently I was hurting myself by thinking about the things that weren't even here yet. And I mean like really deep, deep thinking and meditation on 3-4 months down the road. No, put yourself in the future just a little bit. Think about where you want to be, then work yourself backwards on how to reach that goal. Don't consistently stay there. If you stay there, you're never going to start. You need to start. Stop focusing on what is required and focus on what is right now. So guys, listen to me. Care less about fitting in, care less about being perfect, and care more about adapting, right? Once you go into something and you make your mistakes, because you're gonna make your mistakes, you can correct them after you make those mistakes. See, no one's perfect, but a lot of people will tell you that you gotta be perfect. A lot of people will want you to be perfect. A lot of people will look in social media and they'll look at all these different avenues and the news and what star is here, this influencer there, and they think they have to be perfect. And they're not worried about adapting. So what I mean by that is a person will go into a certain situation. They'll make a mistake. And instead of adapting and thinking about what they could have done better for next time, they'll reset their whole mind frame, throw away that first attempt at it, and then start over. You can't do that. You gotta start caring less and start having more activity. You gotta start adapting to things. The more you focus on yourself and caring less, that's when you're really gonna see some magic happen.